Yeah, I've never been a big fan of that. Some people like that, honestly. Like I don't think it's inherently bad. Well,
If we're going to do this, we'll need
maybe I do.
help.
Maybe
We
I
have
do
to
think
find
it's
these
inherently
people
bad.
first. We cannot let this chance pass us by.
I don't know. I'd have to really think about it, but how's it going, Reb? I'm enjoying it a lot. I've always hated the idea of having to consume a bunch of media in order to understand the core concepts of a story. If there's a lot of side media that enhances the story, like the compilation of Final Fantasy VII, where they made a story, it's understandable, everything in the game explains what happens in the game, but then they add a bunch of things that boost our understanding of what's going on and adds context to stuff. Like, that's the right way to do it, you know? Now, I do have issues with the compilation. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of stupid retcons. There's a lot of stupid, let's over-explain this for no reason. But in general, I feel like the compilation does it fairly well.
If we're going to do this, we'll need help.
Then we'll have to find it.
Shut up, Theodore, I'm talking. But in general, I dislike games that the story is only half there and you have to read a bunch of stuff to understand everything. And I know some people that don't play this game but watch it are gonna be like, wow, the whole tomes thing is stupid. You have to read all this stuff to understand things. Anyone that says that didn't play this game. If you read a review where someone's like, the touchpad thing that comes up that explains everything, wow, the story is so bad that you have to have a thing to explain it, they didn't play the game. Like, don't even read that review. It's total hogwash. Everything you need to know is in the game. That stuff is only there to re-explain it if you missed something or give even extra context, you know? Anyone that says that the quick lore read thing or the map or the tomes thing is somehow a detriment to the game, they didn't play the game. So this game does it really well, but then there's games like Destiny or games like Final Fantasy XV or games like, well, Call of Duty Zombies is another example, but that's kind of not their fault. But games where you have to read other media to understand the story, and it's not... And sometimes it's not even because they didn't have time to implement the story or something, but it's by design. Like 15, one of the big reasons why I have such a problem with Final Fantasy 15 is that it's not like they wrote the story and then they were like, oh no, we don't have enough time to explain everything, so let's make this mobile game and have all this read stuff so that we can get the rest of the story out. Like, no, it was by design. They said that in interviews before the game came out. They said, listen, if you want to know the whole story, make sure you play the mobile game, make sure you buy the movie, etc., etc. And that's just, I hate that. I hate the idea that we can't just buy a game and play it and understand the story. We have to experience the entire universe in order to understand the story. Like, that's just a scam, you know? Like, 100%, that's just a scam. If I have to watch a movie to understand my video game, it's a scam. If I have to watch a movie to understand certain concepts and certain, you know, there's extra bonus stuff in the movie that makes things more interesting, then that's one thing. But the fact that later on, after the game was released, they added more cutscenes to the main game because no one watched the movie just shows you how much of a failure that was. Shows you how scammy that was. Because they knew, like, oh crap, no one understands the story because we put important details in the movie and no one watched the movie because it was a freaking scam. Of course it was. So, I just hate that, you know. Hate that. I I was gonna say, like, it can be done well, but I don't know. I don't think it can. Honestly. I just don't like it. If you need more than a $70 video game to explain your story, then it's not a good story. That's how I feel. If you're buying a $70 game and you can't get from point A to point B in your story without having something else I have to purchase to get it, then it's not a good story. You didn't do it well. You didn't convey the story to me correctly. You know? That's how I feel. It should be easy to understand the main concepts of your story within the game. If you want to add other stuff, awesome, but you should be able to get me to feel the emotions you want me to feel and get the general concept of the story from within your $70 game without me having to open up a browser or open up a mobile game or watch a movie or watch a YouTube video explaining it. I should be able to get it, you know? All of that should be additional. And that's what gets me so frustrated when, like, I'm playing Final Fantasy XV and I'm like, guys, I don't understand this. And people in the chat are like, well, you didn't watch the movie, so of course you don't get it. How could you complain? This guy, he's complaining about the story and he didn't even watch the movie. He didn't even read the dialogue things. He didn't even play the mobile game. What a fake fan. And he's reviewing it? He's giving it a bad review even though he didn't watch the movie? Like, yeah, I am. You know, I paid $60 for this and I'm not understanding it. That I feel like my review is valid, you know? But that's like where we've gotten now because of games like Destiny and stuff trying to make it normal. Or just even like service games trying to make it a normal thing to have to go out of your way to understand the story. They're trying to normalize it, and I hate it. I don't want that normalized. The whole like movie industry is trying to do this too, where like you can't just watch one movie, you got to watch all 10 movies or else you're not going to understand who this character is, etc., etc. That's fine if you want to make a universe of movies and have them crisscross and all of that, but don't tell me I can't give Ant-Man a bad review just because I didn't watch 9 other movies and I didn't understand every single character. You know what I mean? Like, if you want to do that, that's great, but you still have to make a good movie that you can understand the whole movie just watching that one movie. And if you're not, then you need to be prepared for bad reviews, right? It's the same way with video games. You can't blame me for giving 15 a bad review because I didn't understand the story when it's a review of that game. It's not a review of the whole universe, you know? So I just, it's so frustrating. And when, you know, you play the first of a game and people say like, oh, well, you have to play the second game. It's like, no, I don't. I bought the first game. If the first game's bad, I'm going to say it's bad, even if the second one's good, you know? So, I don't know. I like the idea of having things connected, but every product has to be a product in its own right. It can't just be an extension of something else, and if it is, then you have the right to be frustrated with it. You know?
If we're going to do this, we'll need help.
Then we'll have to find... Clive, your timing is impeccable. It just so happens that right at this very moment, we're in need of someone with your talents.
And what talents would those be?
Why, your fearlessness and your skill with a blade.
That's honestly a good question. With Rebirth, you know, I would say that that is a sequel. So yes, if you play Rebirth without playing Remake and you don't know what's going on, that's your fault. Because that's a direct sequel, even though they're not calling it Remake Part 2. They just wanted to give it a fancy name. But that is a direct sequel. I think that, but honestly, I don't think it will be. Knowing Square Enix, I think that they're going to make Rebirth very approachable, because they always do. I mean, if you've played Kingdom Hearts 3, you know what I'm talking about. They will make the game extremely approachable to anyone, even if you've never touched Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VII Remake. They're going to make Rebirth extremely approachable so that you could just play it and probably enjoy it, even if you had no idea what was going on. So that probably won't even be a problem. But if it is, then, you know, I feel like that's probably your fault, because I think it is a direct sequel, even though it doesn't have the number 2 in it. They probably will. There'll be some kind of recap. There always is. Like I said, if you ever played Kingdom Hearts 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. They always make sure that every game is super approachable, because I don't know what it is about Square Enix, but they care so much about people that have never ever touched a video game in their life and have no idea what a Final Fantasy is, but somehow they still want to make the game for them, which is a whole different conversation. But it's a good thing, but it's also, I think they give up a bit too much to satisfy people that aren't even going to play the game. Like this game, for example, with the rings, it's like, why do you bend over backwards so much for people that are just going to watch the video on YouTube? Like that are so against gameplay that they're probably not even going to play the game, and you like bend over backwards for them. But that's just Square Enix's way of doing things, and even if I disagree with it, it's obviously working for them. So I do think the rings could have been done a bit better, but in general, I think that they're, ever since Final Fantasy like 14, I would say, they've had this, it's almost like they changed their motto. Like the Square Enix motto changed to everybody games or something. Like, I don't know, but something within the company changed. Their mindset changed, and they were like, we want to make sure that our games are playable by everyone and are understandable by everyone, and we're gonna like super load our games with tutorials and easy features and accessibility features, and a lot of it's really good, but some of it is a bit like, why are you pandering so much to everyone that isn't a fan of your game? You know what I mean? But like, it works for them. It's been working for them. So
I'm listening.
Well, as I'm sure you're aware, when these dark skies swept over the Republic, so too did a wave of chaos and confusion. Randalar has been particularly badly affected. Many of the capital's bearers have lost their masters, or taken the opportunity to flee them. None remain free for long, of course. Most find themselves under the protection of the Fist before they get far. But the army too is in disarray, and finds itself unable to provide for its new charges, which means it has been looking to sell.
And you've been looking to buy, to make sure these masterless bearers remain that way.
Precisely. It's the perfect opportunity to free dozens more, and for an attractive price, no less.
So where does my skill with a blade come in?
Though we may have the funds to buy these bearers, we have nowhere to house them. So we've been searching for a place where they can be resettled. Somewhere far from the prying eyes of those who would see them enslaved once more.
there's a theme going with these side quests. All 3 of them were
Cashlock.
making areas for bearers.
The place was abandoned a long time ago, but when the men moved out, the beasts moved in.
And so we seek the aid of a fearless swordsman to encourage them to look elsewhere. You'll help, won't you?
Look at that chocobo.
How could I refuse?
Excellent. Theo, if you wouldn't mind making arrangements for the transportation of our guests, as we discussed.
Of course. Leave everything with me.
Sounds like you'll have your work cut out for you.
I will. We have an entire village to stock and furnish. Residents and all. Even if I begin right now, I'll be working day and night. So I'd better get started. Try to clear the place out before the wagons roll in, won't you?
I'll do my best.
You will find a village in Chairdra's Thread, past Lateney's Cleft. My man there will open the gate for you.
All right. Wish me luck.
I'm sure you won't need it.
Another thing, too, like Venom kind of pointed out with Square Enix, is that they have so many projects going on at once that the sequels to their games just take forever to come out. So a lot of times people are lost, you know? But it takes so long for the next Kingdom Hearts to come out, or the next Final Fantasy to come out, or the next whatever to come out, that like the people that have been following the series, even the people that have been following the series, it's been 5 years since they played the last game, so having it be more approachable and recap the story and everything is a good thing, you know? Okay, I need to go make a phone call real quick, so give me a few minutes, and then hopefully we don't have too many more interruptions. But be back in just a minute. I'm enjoying this conversation. Keep it going if you would like. Okay, I am back. I ended up getting a voicemail, so they'll probably end up calling me back. Probably call me back at a awkward time, but what are you gonna do? That's the way it goes sometimes, especially with doctors. How do I? Oh, here? I think. Actually, I have to do a bit of exploring for this. Physiker. We ran out of crystals. You had to order more. Goblins. I gotta say, the Phoenix moves are still so fun to use. Even though they're the starting moves. They're just so entertaining. Let's see. Wow, really?
This must have been a nice place once.
It will be
Oh,
again.
okay, there's a lot. I was gonna say, 2 dogs, that's what was stopping you guys? Can't deal with 2 dogs on your own? I know, right? 10 gil, that's crazy. Boom. Boom. Man, these dogs have a lot of health. Speaking of PS5 controllers, I still don't know what's wrong with... I don't know if it's my controller or my charger, but for some reason it keeps dying really early. Usually it dies like in 7 or 8 hours. Right now it's dying in like 4 hours. I suppose I could use my other controller, and then I'd know for sure if it was the controller or not. But honestly, it's not that bad. Not that big of a deal to plug it in, so just kind of over it. But at some point, I should probably figure out what the issue is. Oh, the bird got in the way. That's true, though. My other controller is a Pro controller, and so it'll probably die quicker just because it's a Pro controller. So that might not be a good comparison.
I think that's the last of them.
I think you're right. Let's head back to Boklat.
Wait. I want to see what's over here. Any goods? Think so, yeah. Dual edge, pro edge, edgy edge. Dual sense edgy version. Wow, I'm so glad I explored this area. Oh, this is gonna be some, like, hunt later. For sure. Leg eater. Don't eat my legs. What if I could fight the hunt early? That'd be kind of cool. I'm sure you can't, though. Fair. Oh man, this must be something big. What are we gonna fight here? Jumbo Cactuar? I can't wait to get 500 sharp fangs from it, whatever it is.
Something the matter, Theodore?
Quiet.
Those are our terms. I trust that you will give them your full consideration.
I shall. Thank you.
Does that guy have a chef hat on? I don't look like a chef hat.
Him again.
Someone you know?
Yes. And, no. But enough about him. How did you fare down in Cashlock?
Oh wow, that wasn't strange at all.
The village is safe now.
You made quick work of it, as always.
I should go and let Eloise know.
Don't let me keep you. But Clive, don't tell her I was watching her, will you? She'll only get upset. I'll explain everything once you've finished with your report.
I'm telling.
All right. We'll speak then.
I'm telling her.
Eloise, I just got back from Cashlock. The village should be safe now.
I just got back from the cash bar.
Here, something for your trouble. Well then, now that you have laid the groundwork for our little project, I suppose we'd better finish the job. The first thing we'll need to do is make sure our offer for the bearers is accepted.
You're still in negotiations.
We are. A trusted colleague has been dealing with the Fist on our behalf, but things have been trickier than we anticipated. I suppose it's to be expected. This is the army we're dealing with. Fighting's what they do. But we shall emerge victorious in the end.
Well, if you need any help, you know where to find me.
I'm not sure I do, but thank you all the same.
Is this like laying the groundwork for for a side quest later? Or right now?
Ah, Clive.
You wanted to talk?
The man I was watching earlier, the one speaking to my sister. He represents the Silver Peak Consortium. It's one of the bigger trading houses.
I don't think I've heard of them.
Well, every trader in Dharmekia has. They operate across the length and breadth of the Republic, and they're still expanding. They've been trying to get Eloise to join their ranks for some time now, and judging by her reaction earlier, I'd say she had half a mind to accept their latest offer.
And you'd rather she didn't?
I would rather she did what makes her happy, and I would never deny her such an opportunity. Eloise saved me from slavery, and we have striven to save others like me ever since. But this was not the life my sister wanted, nor the one she deserves. I won't let her give up on her dreams again for my sake. She freed me from my bonds, and she must be freed from hers in turn.
You're a good man, Theo.
I have always been grateful for what my sister did for me, and I want to repay the favor by letting her live her own life. But each time an opportunity to do just that arises, she turns it down. For my sake.
She loves you.
And I love her. Which is why I want this time to be different. To show her that I don't need to be watched over anymore. Though I'm sure I'll still need some help from time to time. I trust that I can count on you.
Always.
Thank you, Clive. Well then, I had better get back to work. These bearers aren't going to move themselves. That's a job for the Crimson Caravans.
That was cool. Alright, I think we're done. Let's see if there's anything new at the hideaway first. Oh? Now wait. Now I'm really curious. I wonder if that hunt I actually do have access to, but I have to check the board first before it'll spawn. Yeah, I bet you this is it. Oh yeah, I still have to do the pack. Maybe not, actually. It says Lost Wing. Yeah, no, never mind, that's not it. Okay, so this is south of Tabor. This is Lost Wing. The greater part of those Black Shields who spied on Lost Wing were taken by the Aether Flood. However, we have received reports that one yet survives. A zealot of their evil cause who persists in delivering any bearer who strays too close to his hiding place to a gruesome death. Alas, he has heretofore proved more than a match for the Cursebreakers sent to slay him. The Man in Black. Oh my god, it's Sephiroth. Alright, south of Tabor first. Then Lost Wing. That would be here. Probably here? Well, I almost walked over there and then I didn't, because I already had it cleared out. I like the Chocobo design in this game, but the lack of Chocobo theme, as well as everyone calling them Chocobos. Big yikes.
The free cities and the sea?
I will not call them Chocobos. No matter how British this game makes me in the end. They are not chocolate birds. Yeah, I was literally like right here and then I just didn't go this way because I had already had it on the map. Those are pretty spooky.
You're a by-side total.
Divide and conquer. You get hit by that first one, you get hit by all of them. Oh no, I got hit by the first one. I tried to perfect block it. These fights with a bunch of enemies are pretty interesting. You have to fight them a lot different. Boom. Yeah, and some of them, they don't have staggers. I liked that one fight with the guys on the beach where they all had stagger bars. It was pretty interesting to try to like once you had one enemy staggered, you kind of had to use that as an opportunity to attack the other ones instead of using it as an opportunity to attack them, because they would just hit you while you were doing your combos.
Shouldn't have messed with the leader of the pack, eh, boy?
You do be the leader. Okay, now Lost Wing. It's here. So is he actually in Lost Wing? This is kind of spooky. Walking around this creepy village looking for a man in black. Have you seen a man in black? Black blood. Found his blood. Joshua. Scared the crap out of me. That's spooky. Aha! It's a shame that the songs are like the most interesting thing to find. Like whenever I find equipment, it's never usable. I find a song, I'm like, oh boy, a new song. I can actually like use this. I can listen to it. It's like a collectible. The equipment, it's like, man. Potions, man. Elixirs, man. Songs, I'm in. So, is he in the cellar? Maybe? Because he ain't in the town. I mean, it kind of makes sense. You can't really fight in the town. In fact, I can't even take my sword out. So. He must be in the cellar. Maybe he's a rat. I don't remember how to get to the cellar. I guess they expected most people just to collect all the songs anyways. Because there's not anything else to collect, so... But yeah, that would be a nice quality of life improvement. For people that are just gonna play through the game once and then never play again. So they can just buy the song they want. Hello? Anybody in here? is. I kind of wish this was like an S rank, because that was genuinely like kind of spooky. Like, this was a fun one to find. I wish it was actually like a really scary enemy, but it's just a copy of the boss we fought in the mines.
Quiet.
I'm gonna laugh when he like blasts me and I die in one hit. These guys are kind of annoying.
Bring out your bearers! Let me and my daughter purge them of their sin!
Regret doing my mother's bidding.
Mostly because of that attack. Oh. That attack is great.
Let's try.
Hold still!
Oh, that was barely at the end of my limit.
This will show you. Take your punishment.
Oh.
Let's try.
Ow. I only did it twice. Yeah, they do more damage, but not a lot. It's quite noticeable with your big finale move, though, because there's other multipliers in play. So, like... So, like, my big Judgment Bolt does a lot of damage on its own, and then also if I'm up to, like, a 1.5 multiplier, if you have no limit versus a limit, given that it's being multiplied by 1.5 and it's a pretty big number, having that extra multiplier is actually, like, going to be a couple hundred damage. In fact, it might even be up to, like, 1,000 more damage, because that one, yeah, I think it was like 1,000 less. I noticed when I did it, and the first hit was a limit hit and the second one wasn't. I think it was like 1,000 less or something.
Your work here is done.
But in general, if you're just walking up to an enemy and hitting him with an ability, hitting him with the limit is just a little bit more damage. Look at Torgal just hanging out with Joshua.
Were it not for the Undying's aid, I would be long dead. Grant them your trust, and they will repay you with their loyalty.
Think so.
Did you see that? Tell me you saw that.
Just gonna grab my renown bonus. Should be all the hunts.
How may I help you today, Clive?
Your benefactors are a generous lot.
You earned this.
Talisman of priming.
All done?
Something to do with limit? Increases Lionheart tonic duration. What? That's the last thing I would have expected that to do. But I think the Lionheart tonic is possibly the best tonic.
Let me tell you a story, Clive.
I guess we're listening to a story now.
Them rumours wet legs were spreading. Might be they weren't just tales plucked out of thin air. You see, there were a time when I weren't too particular about who I sold steel to, so long as they paid me the right price. Some women lust after blood, others after flesh, but me, I were always one for gold. And to satisfy that lust, I sold to opposing armies, stabbed my every client in the back, made myself the most hated woman in the twins.
You told us this already.
Well, then one day I met a man who made me a different kind of offer. Said he'd give me access to a realm-wide community of like-minded individuals in constant need of steel and sundries. On the condition I sold to him and his alone.
Was that the first time you met Sid?
Aye. And I fell right into his damn trap. He was true to his word, so I ended up being true to mine. And I soon started making the best profits I've seen since taking up the trade. And all without aiding or abetting any outlaws. Except Sid himself, that is. Told me about his plan to topple the mother crystals, you know. Said that with them gone, the realm would want for all manner of things. An opportunity for the likes of me to mint gil. Why, I reckon an enterprising individual could find himself the richest dam in the twins. And that's when he had me. I emptied my stores that day and moved into the hideaway proper. And the rest, as they say, is ancient bloody history. A dozen years on, and I'm still not the richest dam. Not for lack of trying, mind. But I can say that I have never been happier. You've all shown me there are some things more precious than gil.
That there are.
So don't you go messing it all up, or you'll have me to answer to.
That was cool. That was just random. That wasn't even part of a quest. Granted, we kind of already knew that information, but...
It's a dangerous world out there.
Not the part about Sid, but...
Coin purse weighing you down.
Oh, this... Okay, now it makes sense. Because this is the limit break one.
Is that all?
Yeah, I'll pass on that. You have nothing. I know you have nothing. I don't know why I'm even checking you, because I know you have nothing.
That it? Fine.
Did you see the pair that got hauled into tires?
Yeah, it was a follow-up to the previous quest, but that's the first time we've just walked into a cutscene that had nothing to do with the quest. Be cool if there's some more of those. Wow, a picture of a hanged man. Perfect for my room. Have you been excited to shop at any point in the game? No. I regret that both you and the lump had to get all tangled up in the wicked weave of my sordid past, but thanks to your meddling, I was finally able to put to rest matters that were left too long to fester. With that finally done, might be I can sit back and enjoy this new world of yours you're so keen on creating. One don't need a pair of eyes to see the good you've done. My lord Marquess, in your absence shall I watch over my new charges, affording them every protection I am able. I only ask that you do the same for his grace. I cannot begin to thank you for all you've done for Lost Wings, so in lieu of any awkward remerciements, I shall be sending several barrels of next season's vintage. I can only hope they finally turn you off that foamy swill you and yours so covet. Don't send me any more mail, Quentin. You frighten me.
My Lord Marquis, I heard about Eastpool, that some of my fellow guardians are to build a new home there, both for themselves and for Madame Martha's bearers. Is it true?
It's true. The village is to be rebuilt.
This is another cutscene, like, not part of a quest.
I have many fond memories of Eastpool. When I was a child, we would visit my aunt and uncle often. They would lavish attention upon me as if I were the son they never had. I went to see Aunt Hannah after my uncle passed away, but not nearly as often as I should have.
Oscar, I'd like you to assist Sir Wade in the rebuilding efforts.
But my lord, my training is not yet complete. I couldn't possibly.
I warned you I might not be the easiest of masters, but I'm not as hard-hearted as that. Go. Be with your aunt. Rebuild her home. Is what she would have wanted.
Yes, my lord. Thank you, my lord.
Dude, how cool is that? So, nothing told me to do that, but that previous quest, he said, I'm gonna have Oscar come help you. So I figured I should talk to him to see if he'd say anything about it, and we got a whole cutscene.
I will not forget this kindness, my lord. I shall go to Eastpool, but as soon as the rebuilding work is complete, I promise to return.
See, that's the really cool world building that this game has created, you know? There's like these scenes you can go out and find that actually make sense. I love that. Okay, that's it. I don't care about this. It's just gonna be what we already know. On to the quests.